My name is Kellen Hendrix. I am a senior psychology major here at Southwest Baptist. So this summer, I was selected for the National Science Foundation's Computational Neuroscience Research Experience for Undergrads. My internship was basically entirely focused on working memory, which is starting to replace short-term memory in the literature. But working memory is the small amount of information held in mind and used in the completion of cognitive tasks. For my internship then, I was placed in Dr. Nelson Cowan's working memory lab. I spent 9 weeks of my summer there. We were specifically doing a project where we were investigating working memory development in first graders because we were trying to see if we could possibly increase first graders' working memory capacity. There's been very little evidence in other papers that working memory capacity can be improved. And so eventually I'll be published with the other researchers on one of very few papers that says we can find a way to increase working memory capacity. SBU really prepared me for this internship because really all you need for an RU is what they're called, is a research class. And I had a great research design and methods class here with Dr. Kilpatrick that really prepared me to ask the right kinds of questions and to show up and contribute in the lab. It also helped that I've had a stats minor. Just having that stats background walking into it and knowing that, hey, at the end of the summer I need to analyze this data was very helpful. And it was very interesting to get to the end of the summer and be like, oh yes, we're going to talk about this, this, and this, and how we can think about these results before I presented them at the Research and Creative Awards night at Mizzou. I think it's kind of nerdy, but one of my favorite things that I did this summer, so even with the stats minor, I got to learn a little more about stats this summer, and I kind of enjoyed getting to learn just more about how we think about stats in Bayesian statistics and what that means exactly. The SBU psychology program has prepared me for grad school through all of my classes. We have a very broad psychology major, which is actually a really good thing because if you're going to do research, you need lots of different areas to pull from. And so knowing all of these different areas prepares you to ask different research questions that sometimes other people with extremely specific backgrounds in psychology just don't even know to ask. I am still doing some research with Dr. Cowan. We've got a project that we've been working on that hopefully will be running next semester. We actually worked on a grant proposal together to the Psychi undergraduate research grant and submitted that this semester. So I've got a lot of the groundwork already done on it, and hopefully we can launch it after I code the experiment in January. But there's also still ongoing research even just off of our summer project, or I say research, just like the end and closing of the research. I really enjoyed Honors Old Testament with Dr. Quackenboss. He's just very excited for what he's teaching and has a great way of presenting the Old Testament that's extremely interesting to students. Dr. Quackenboss is a great professor both in class and outside of it. He regularly invites his classes to just a Christmas celebration every year, but he's also just willing to take time out of his day to meet with you. Sometimes I'll shoot him an email and be like, hey, you got some time to meet this week? And I'll just go in and sit down and talk with him. Campus life for me is just a blast. I'm the Student Association president this year, so I get to interact with administration and try to improve different little things for students and make sure that students are heard. So as the Student Association president, I have two main jobs. My first is to be an advocate for the student body. So I have meetings throughout the semester with different members of the administration. I meet with the Director of Student Activities twice a week. I meet with Dr. Woodyard, the Vice President of Student Life, once a month. I try to meet with Dr. Griffith a couple times in the semester, and I'm supposed to meet with Dr. Melson a few times in the semester as well. And so we can just talk about what students want and how we can help students. But it's also very fun with that to then brainstorm what are different things we're not even being asked by students that we can do to help them and to advance the student life goals of cultivating community, providing support, and encouraging growth. If I could sum up my time at SBU into one sentence, I think that I would have to say that SBU has shaped me to go out and be a light in a fallen world, and to glorify God in all that I do. I've had the opportunity to grow academically here, and I've especially had the opportunity to grow spiritually. And so I'm very thankful for that.